Hey guys, it's Alexandra here. Welcome back to my channel. Before we get into today's video where I'm going to show you my favorite go-to makeup look of the moment, I wanted to let you guys know that I have put some resources in the description box if you are looking to help educate yourself about the Black Lives Matter movement. It is time to do so if you have not already done so, but I know that there are a lot of resources out there and it can be a little overwhelming to know where to start, so I have put some in the description box that have been particularly helpful to me as I have worked to begin educating myself and worked to become a better ally for the Black community. Now is the time. If you have not acknowledged your white privilege in the past and have not taken a stand and used your voice yet, now is the time to do so. I am working on becoming comfortable with being uncomfortable and acknowledging the fact that I don't know everything, but it's better to say something than to say nothing. And we unfortunately live in a world full of systemic racism, and we have the opportunity right now to make a difference and to make a change. And I'm willing to put myself out there to be uncomfortable and hopefully be a part of the voice, a collective voice of reason to bring about the change that's necessary. As Barack Obama said in his article that he wrote not that long ago that I just read, it is in one of the resources that I'll link below. He said that it is going to take both the protests as well as voting and educating ourselves on this topic in order to make lasting change. And we have some momentum going, so let's use our voices for good in this moment. And I feel very passionately that this is the time to really, if you've never taken the chance before to educate yourself, this is the time to do it. So I have put some resources in the description that have been helping me. I feel like they are fairly easy to figure out. It's divided into different categories of places to donate, petitions to sign, books to read, podcasts to listen to, etc., etc., that will help you navigate educating yourself a little bit more easily. Thanks for listening to that, and on to my current go-to makeup look. Starting off with my Lancome UV Expert sunscreen. I love it because it has SPF 50 and acts like a primer and a moisturizer. Plus, it doesn't break out my sensitive skin, which is really great. Next, I am going to be using my Glassy Skin Balm to add a layer of healthy glow under my foundation. It does a nice job of adding glow without shimmer, and you certainly don't need to use much. Oh, my allergies. Today I'm going to be using my L'Oreal Infallible Concealer in the shade 330 Ivory to prime my eyes. I just put a little bit on and then blend it in with my foundation brush. It does a nice job of blanking out the veins without being too heavy, and it's just a really nice eye primer. I like it a lot. To set my eyeshadow primer, I'm going to use the number 7 Lift and Illuminate powder in the shade Light. It is great for setting eyeshadow primer, but is also really wonderful all over the face. For eyeshadows, I am going to be using the Aperol Spritz eyeshadow palette from Viseart. It is brand new, and it is based on a popular drink and is full of beautiful peachy and orange shades. I'm going to start off with the light peach shade in the crease and all over the lid. It's a nice light base color, and I'd suggest using a large fluffy blending brush to diffuse the color. And I just add this little by little to make sure I get enough so it shows up, but not so much that it is a super bold look, because these shades are quite pigmented and could easily be a little too much if you're not careful and take your time with blending and building up little bit by little bit. Next, I'm grabbing a smaller tapered blending brush and going into the deeper coral color that does not have any shimmer. And I'm going to add that to the outer corner and crease to add some dimension to the eye look without deepening it up, because I really don't want anything smoky. I want to keep it very light and summery. And then I'm going to do the same thing with the medium brown in the outer corner and crease to keep adding more dimension to the eye look. The last step, I'm taking the peachy shimmer on my finger and just putting that all over my lid. It is super bright and summery, and I just love it so much for the eyes. It's gorgeous. Onto my face, I am going back in with my concealer and I'm going to spot conceal my acne scars. This really prevents me from having to put on too many layers of foundation, because the more layers you put on a foundation, it tends to start looking crepey and cakey, and that's not what anybody wants for their makeup look. And I really learned that the hard way, that layering on more foundation tends to be the wrong way to go, and that it's better to spot conceal or even color correct in order to deal with those issues. And that was a big mental shift from having really bad acne to having less severe acne. I had to relearn how to put on foundation. Not only is this concealer really good for the face, but it's also really nice for the under eye because it's not too thick and heavy. But I would suggest blending it in and setting it, because it can settle into fine lines if you don't do that. For foundation, I am using the Milani Conceal and Perfect in the shade Nude, mixed with the Physicians Formula Natural Defense Foundation in the shade Fair. Milani's a little dark, Physicians Formula is a little light, and the mix is a pretty perfect match for my skin tone right now. I'd say that this combination has medium to high coverage with one layer, and it can be built up, but I would suggest only building up in the areas that you need the most coverage instead of doing full layers all over the face, because I do think it can get a little bit heavy due to the Milani foundation if you're layering full, like 2 or 3 layers all over the face. And I would suggest setting it down with a light bit of powder, because I think it improves the longevity of the foundation. And it is natural matte. It's not super duper matte in my opinion, nor do I think it is glowy by any means, which I think is part of the reason that I like to set it down. And I'm using my number 7 Lift and Illuminate powder to set it down. This is just a nice lightweight powder, and it's great for normal to dry skin. I think the Maybelline Fit Me powder would be better if you had oily skin. It just does a little bit better job of controlling that. For bronzer, I am using my mini Hoola bronzer from Benefit. I really like this because it is nice and bronzy without being too deep. They do have a lighter shade called Hoola Light if you need that, and I use it during the winter. It blends really well, and the mini size has lasted a long time, so it's a pretty good investment. I do just sweep this on my cheeks, forehead, across my nose, and down my neck to help bring some life back into my makeup look, having blanked it out with a foundation. I think bronzer and blush are really important for that process. For blush, I am using my mini California blush by Benefit. It is a bright coral that comes across matte on your face, even though it appears to have some shimmer slash glitter particles in it in the pan. It can look really natural if you use just a little bit, but be aware it can be super bold if you begin to layer it up a lot, and a little goes a long way for sure. Next, I'm using my Hourglass Ambient Metallic Strobe Lighting Palette for highlight. Specifically, I'm using the shades Absolute Strobe Light and Pure Strobe Light. I would make sure that you tap off when you use this product because it is super potent. If you love bold highlighters, this would be the palette for you to get, but wow, be careful, it can be a lot. For brows, I'm using the e.l.f. Brow Pencil in Taupe. It is a great price and a great place to start if you are new to brows. It's not too waxy or too creamy, so it's pretty easy to use, and I really don't find myself making too many mistakes with it, even though I am by no means a brow expert. And like I said, the price is great. It's like $3, so if you just want to try to do something with your brows, great place to start. I am using the Fetish Eyes mascara from Pat McGrath. This is a sample I got from Sephora. I think it gives a really good volume and length. I think the only con to it is that it does have a bit of a floral scent, so if you are opposed to scent or it really bothers your eyes, I might suggest staying away from this, but it is really lovely. For my lip combo, I am using my Tarte Mini lipstick in Beach Babe, and it is a really light nude, and then layering over the top my Buxom Full On Plumping Lip Cream in the shade Creamsicle. This gives a nice peachy nude without being too light or too bold, and it feels really good on the lips. I absolutely love this combination. For perfume, I'm using Beach Walk by Replica. It's really wonderful. I love it a lot. I would suggest the rollerball or sample pack because it is a bit expensive, but that's the finished look. Thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful day. Talk to you later. Bye.